Start recording. All right, that's being recorded. Perfect. Like I said, if you have any ideas, or if you are in a trade, feel free to let me know. So far, we're getting rejected nicely. But for me to go short, what's missing really would be any amount of buy side being swept recently. That's why most recent liquidity, we've cleared some liquidity right here during the Asia session, this movement to the upside. Bouncing off the VWAP, a liquidation stop hunt wick. So I'd be more interested to generally look for longs instead of shorts, if that makes sense. Until proven otherwise, I'd say. If we take a look at the 1 minute time frame, we have some sort of a market structure shift scenario here. We formed a lower low, lower high, market structure shift, and right now we might be retesting the fair value gap paired with the breaker block to continue higher. And if we see that and close above the 5 minute bearish, then we could really be targeting buy side liquidity. Else we're gonna reject here and maybe play around for a little longer. Next sell side target obviously would be the slower, and this would also correspond to our hourly bullish fair value gap down here. Said if you leave behind a nice bearish fair value gap somewhere around here, I have no issues taking that. 15 minute time frame, not very clear just yet. Couple of fair value gaps and that new day opening gap especially. Did any of you watching ever play around with the opening range concept? Because the probabilities of it are pretty cool looking into it. You do it for the New York Open. Okay, interesting. That's okay, definitely. I also, well, I don't want to miss anything. But I looked at it, for example, over here. It's a nice confluence, but it doesn't change what I've already been doing, really. We have our opening range. We have our bearish fair value gap. We had that final fake out. Remember, that's when I took the initial short right here. And then I closed my position with the close above this bearish fair value gap at the end of live stream. Pretty sure that's what we've done on Tuesday. Looking for the short, we anticipated the previous day's low being the drawn liquidity. But then we had the inversion fair value gap overlapping with a new bullish fair value gap. That was that final manipulation within our opening range. We turned around, closed below it, and right on that close I entered again, short with my stop above the hourly high, looking for sell side liquidity to be run. But yeah, I don't know if I have this opening range indicator on or not. Even if we look at this London session right over here, wouldn't have changed my overall analysis. The only thing that would have been helpful is this. According to the opening range concept, the close below the lowest opening in this case right here. So this is our London open range. Lowest wick, highest close, lowest open. This candle right here and even the wick below it already confirmed, it's an early confirmation that price is likely to go lower. And then if we use this as confluence paired with the unfilled volume imbalance and the bearish fair value gap, already have our short, but we would have been short here anyway. It looks good as an optical guide, exactly. That's what I thought too. A good guide or visualization that we are leaving the range. At this point, this would have already been too late. I mean, you either would have caught this bearish value gap and you looked at the 50% of the range, and if we managed to close above, this would have been good confirmation to actually exit. But the confirmation close below the range came in right here. I don't want to miss anything. Still holding this volume imbalance. Let's take a look at the 1 minute time frame. I don't think we're fading anything just yet. Let's take a look at Monday's example. I've already drawn that up. Monday was just mess overall. VWAP mainly. Filled the bearish value gap, continued lower. This would have been the early confirmation with the close above that we are going to continue higher throughout the rest of the session. And what we would have used then, all right, we just hunted a low. I wouldn't place my entry randomly. We've never been doing that. We have a bearish fair value gap. We don't really care about the bearish fair value gap because we have confirmation to the upside. So just entering short based on that would have been a little bit too early for my liking. And then right at 11:40, we close above. We have our inversion fair value gap overlapping with a nice bullish fair value gap. So I'd be more inclined to try that setup. Given the probability of us continuing higher, we enter our long position on the inversion fair value gap. Stop loss at the VWAP. 8.5 points would be a little bit too big, but you never know. That should be fine. Looking for a 1-to-1. That's a 10-point move back into a new high of the day. Could have held for 12, but didn't really keep on expanding. But the idea is essentially stays the same. Like Bongo said, a good optical guide. If there's news events, I wouldn't look at it at all. Usually don't be respected. Don't get respected. 5 minute time frame. Let's hide it for now because it's a little bit too early. Still holding the VWAP. Same for NQ. I only like it because there's so much data backing this entire theory that if we close below, we stay below with like 70% probability, which is not bad if we think about it. Like right here, early confirmation that we are going to continue higher. Yes, we had our initial doubts because we closed below the bullish value gap, but essentially, yeah, turned out to be the low of the day. We came back to retest it, paired with the bullish fair value gap we left behind right here. Now we got our confirmation close, also above the VWAP, and we can take a high confidence short long, essentially right here, of the bullish fair value gap, knowing that we have the VWAP and our entire opening range to support this kind of trade idea. Stop loss below this low and target a simple 2-to-1 or even just a 1-to-1 and get in and out very quickly. A little bit late within the session as well, but guess it is what it is in that case. Here, for example, waiting for the opening range to be complete. Well, the only entry I would have seen would have been this bullish value gap for a continuation into this high. I think we even took that trade. High of the day. And then we take... How did we do it? I think we used the inversion fair value gap right here. We saw the market structure shift. We saw the retracement holding support on all the fair value gaps. The invalidation of this bearish fair value gap, stop loss below the low, target. So we've done it without looking at the opening range concept. Yeah, I don't know. Would just be nice confirmation, I guess, at that point. Let's see where we're at. Still playing around. See if we can find another nice example. That's a weird London opening range. If we look at the candles right between 3 and 4 a.m., then we had the pump. I think we likely would have been looking for shorts, but with the confirmation, we can see how nicely that opening range kept on holding. Nice close above after the range, bullish fair value gap, and we continued higher from here. But the majority of the move has already been delivered within the opening range, which has continued higher essentially. Here we had a close below, invalidation, inversion fair value gap, retest of the inversion fair value gap, looking for the continuation higher. That's essentially what happened. Pretty sure we took that trade as well. Here we took the market structure shift within that opening range. I don't know. I think I do better without looking at it, actually. It's a nice, maybe optical confirmation, like we said, but just sparked my curiosity. RM, which EMAs are you using again? The 10 EMA and the 21? 10 and 20. Fast moving EMAs. Yeah, and it's essentially like every strategy. You just have to make sure you be consistent and keep on using the opening range method. Of course, you're going to have your losing days, but it's your overarching framework that you rely on and that you use as your edging. And on the good days, you make your profit where it makes perfect sense, and you just have to make sure you actually execute and trust it fully. And on the bad days, you just lose. And overall, in the bigger picture, well, it should add up to profits with good risk management. The only thing I really don't like about it, like we've seen it a couple of times now, is to wait until the opening range is done and then execute. Because most of the time, not most of the times, but sometimes the setups are actually happening within that initial opening range. But I think there were way worse frameworks you could be using. Since there's nothing really going on just now, take a look at a couple of more opening range setups. Let's start right here. This would have been the early confirmation, close below the IDR low. We cleared the high of the day, so we would have been looking for shorts anyway, and then we got the confirmation right here. Nice close below. We didn't hit sell side liquidity yet, so we had nice sell side still to clear. Paired with the confirmation of our close below, perfect IDR retest, or lowest close of the opening range, bearish fair value gap for the continuation into sell side liquidity. Stop loss above. Damn, where's my stop loss here? Maybe above the 50%. Then looking for that continuation sell, maybe for 5 points. Nice scalp. We continued lower. We have our opening range. We close below. We'll recheck from here and continue lower. How would we have traded there? No fair value gaps whatsoever. The only fair value gap we could have been using would have been this one. No major inversion fair value gap. We cleared sell side liquidity. More sell side to target here. I think at this point in time we would have been waiting for the inversion fair value gap setup. Looking for the long. But yeah, like I said, some days it's right, some days it's just wrong. Just got to be consistent, essentially. Well, we took the short-term high one more time. Still bouncing off the VWAP. Let's take a quick look at NQ. This is 3 a.m. and we took the low. 3 a.m. and we took the low, sorry. There's no SMT divergence whatsoever happening as of right now. Still playing with the midnight level. Like a clean short, Bongo. Yeah, I think so too. I'm just waiting for, well, we had a new stop hunt. We're still respecting the midnight level. But for me, it would be of course, yeah, short of the bearish value gap here. But I would like to see some fair value gaps actually within my kill zone window. Okay. We have the volume point of control right up here, the bearish fair value gap. Our stop hunt right here. Followed by your chart looks a little bit different than mine does. The market structure shift. Come back up, leave behind the bearish fair value gap, but yeah, I just don't like the VWAP here, man. Gotta be honest. Like I said, there's plenty of room to the downside. If we were to do something like this and really confirm that bearish order flow, leave behind an inefficiency right here, come back to retest it, and then continue lower into the new day opening gap would be the easiest scenario ever. But we could also be doing something like this, test the hourly bullish fair value gap right here, invert a potential bearish fair value gap, and then push up higher. So it would be the two scenarios. Or not get into the hourly bullish fair value gap right now at all and move to the upside first. Damn. Stupid paintbrush. We'll see. Take a look at NQ. Didn't stop hunt. For me, it doesn't look like that very obvious or apparent change in state of delivery. Right here, we consolidated at the opening, right around the VWAP. From here, we pushed up higher. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Here we had a tiny little stop hunt, but we pushed up higher to form a new higher high. Higher low, higher high. And ever since, we just really been ranging here. It's not that we got a nice market structure shift. Change in state of delivery, continuation lower into the new day opening gap. Look at all these wicks, the indecision, we pump up, pump down, pump back up, still overall holding that VWAP. That's what's making me down. Price action over here during Asia, mwah. Beautiful actually. Consolidation. Here a little stop hunt. Immediately followed by inversion, fair value gaps. Managed to close above our highest bearish fair value gap here. Come back to retest it. Hold beautiful support on the highest bullish fair value gap right here. And form our high. Would have been a nice trade. But we also got to sleep sometime. Even holding support nicely here. Lowest bullish fair value gap. We close right on the low. Gap below, but we close it in. Come back to retest it. Bum bum bum. Alright, looks like we're pushing now. Like I said, I'd be interested in taking along if price doesn't run away and immediately takes out buy side liquidity. In terms of more buy side to the left, the only thing we'd be looking at would be this high right here. Like I said, the close above this bearish fair value gap would lead me to get in on the inversion, maybe on the midnight level. Stop loss right at the VWAP, 3.5 points. They're not looking for much, maybe just a one-to-one risk to reward. Simple setup, no stress. But like I said, most importantly, I don't want this thing to run away. And enter somewhere up here while targeting this buy side. What's the time actually? It's 30:30. 30:30 time, and that's when we start pushing. London open, 30 minutes of job. 3:30 opens up when we start to push. Same thing yesterday, by the way. We push up. We fail to really continue higher when we have our confirmation that we're actually leaving this consolidation range. 15:30. Mm, 1.5 minutes to go. 50 seconds to go. What do you guys think about the long? Like I said, it looks like it's running away, and I'm not really a fan of seeing it run away. In the long, since when? Yeah, send a pic. Now, if anything, I'm looking maybe to catch an entry right here. We have our inversion fair value gap on the CFD chart right here. My stop loss at this week low. We've up rejection entry. Okay, nice. So you're sitting through all that. Okay, interesting. That's why I didn't like the short at all. We'll see. Inky already ran the highs. Interesting. Well, I certainly not gonna enter up here if we only have 1.5 points to the upside. 1.5 points. There's no point in me doing that. Unless, of course, we run higher, but even then, nah. Not gonna chase it like that. Something like this would be more interesting. Put it a little bit above, so we actually get filled. But it's a nice 1-to-1. Right there. Stop at the low. Profit target like this. We close very nicely above the current high of the day. That's why I might think we continue higher. Like I said, most recently we swept sell side liquidity right here. It's just a question if we are going to get our, some sort of a retest, immediate rebalance, or we leave behind a bullish fair value gap and I would enter on that. We'll see. 2 minutes to go. I think that should be pretty safe view. Yeah, yuck. Gold. Nasdaq, the S&P. Do I have to weave up on this? I think I have to use an indicator for that. Weave up. Yeah, no, that's a shitty weave up. 20 seconds left. Now we have a nice bullish fair value gap sitting here. It's our first fair value gap since 3 a.m. that we can now use mainly as invalidation. We have the same fair value gap on NQ. I'm going to modify my pending limit. Put it right on the fair value gap. My stop loss is also gonna get moved to body close. Confirm. Looking for that retest. If we get it. Trading panel. See if NQ retested the fair value gap. No, it didn't just yet. What's the time? 3:40. We are continuing to form our opening range. Big wick low here. Volume imbalance. Looks like we're not going to get our retest, fortunately. Two ticks away from breaking through the high of the day. Still don't make it to take out a high off day, and we're starting to lose momentum. Gives me those kind of vibes. We should be able to take out that high off day. One tick away, essentially. Oh shit. It's still set up properly. Voice and video, MacBook Pro. Nah, shit. USB condenser microphone, so the voice audio quality should be lots better now. Take a look at the recording. Yeah, perfect. That's still working. All right, so we tap the high of the day. Let's see if we clear it. Yep, clear it. Whatever coming back to the fair value gaps. Not even really on the 1 minute time frame. Slow and steady move up into it. Take care. Until New York session, Simon. Looks like we're really expanding for the next buy side. Vivo, it's just so fucking beautiful. What's the time? It's 3:45. 10 more minutes until 4 a.m. We can actually take a look at the opening range and see what we're working with. Bongo, did you engage on anything just yet? Okay, you jumped into the long. We could be looking at the EMA stuff. Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I think we're just expanding now. We've accumulated for long enough. Yeah, I don't know. They want to take on the risk to, well, yeah, I guess they want to take on the risk to enter with the market, or even just on those down ticks, waiting for a nice opportunity with a retest of a fair value gap or the inversion fair value gap slash midnight level. But I think we were done accumulating and just expanded. That's all right. We have a new hourly opening coming up soon, so I think I'll wait until 4 to 5 a.m. Maybe find a setup there. Mm. 350. Retesting a high off day now. Petro. Bullish fair value gap. Not gonna take the entry from right there. Especially knowing what's coming up. New hourly opening after this candle. Good paper trade. No. Oh, what happened? No. Mm. Good morning, Katya. You been taking any trades so far? Maybe long? We looked at it. We were waiting for a retracement into inversion fair value gap, bullish fair value gap. No London today. No overall trading London today, or just because it's post FOMC? Is that one of your rules, or just because of current price action? More allied to you. Yeah, I think we're gonna get the retracement for sure. Slow staggering move up. Pump above. Better share value gaps now. Sorry to hear that. We ought to make mistakes. Did you forget to remove a sell or buy limit order and it got triggered, and then you checked your charts and okay, you left. That's what happened to me once. I thought I had all my orders removed, and then somewhere I had my old stop loss left behind on my trading view chart. It got filled, and then yeah, price completely went the opposite way. I didn't know, or I wasn't aware that I'm in a trade. Then I come to the charts and I see massive drawdown. That's very likely going to remain our opening range. Looking for the retracement to the midnight level, and then see how that's being delivered. If we immediately cut through all of that, I take the short into more sell side. Yeah, we'll see. Usually the good setups, they present themselves without you having to think too hard about it. Like, you know, I'm not one to place limits. I like my confirmation. 30 seconds, new hourly opening coming in. We just filled our highest bullish fair value gap. Let's see if that's all of the retracement we'll get. We have our opening range now complete. Maybe we can use that for some visualization or some guidance. Open with a volume imbalance. Let's take a quick look at the hourly. Closed right on the high of day. It's a 15-minute bearish fair value gap. Essentially would be our draw on liquidity here if we were to catch the continuation long. We have a nice 15-minute bullish here, so we could also annotate that. Looks like we're holding our highest bullish value gap. That would have been enough for a 1-to-1, but let's see. Yeah, holding up nicely. So far. Well, it's a patience game. Let's take a look at what it looks like on the 1 minute. Would prefer, if I could ask for it, something like this until 4:30, and then maybe take my first long entry right here. Then we leave behind a bearish value gap. We overtake that, and I take the continuation. That would be my dream scenario. But we could also just continue like that, using the highest bullish value gap hand. never even mind filling in the higher time frame fair value gaps. In that case, I'm still content or happy with results from this week. We still have New York session to come in. And I'm not, I don't know, it usually gets me at this stage. I'm 850, no, 800, yeah, $46 away from getting this account through phase one. Done some nice profits this week. Not gonna play around with that right between the FOMC news event and the NFP news event tomorrow. So just being a little bit more careful. Looking for them high quality setups. Oh, well. Here we go. About to run into buy side. Highest bullish share value gap setup. At least we get a nice trend. That's nice to see. Likely gonna close above our opening range. Giving us the confirmation that we're likely gonna continue high, at least until we hit sufficient buy side liquidity or, well, fair value gaps. Like I said, we have this on the 15. Say hey, on the 1 minute we closed above, we have 20 seconds left. NQ also cleared the high. Didn't close above. But that would be considered the early wick confirmation, essentially. Yeah, well, not much really happening. So, unless we would have taken a long ride from the get-go here, after essentially the confirmation, the one we've been waiting for, unfortunately it ran away, came back to retest, but never the fair value gap, unfortunately. We have a 15-minute bullish fair value gap sitting right here. So far we've just used the highest bullish fair value gap to essentially deliver 5 points. It would have been pretty simple 5-point scalp using a 5-point stop loss. 1-to-1. Let's see if we get the close above the London opening range. Quickly refresh that. Take a look at the 1-minute time frame. Maybe we can catch a short then after we hit buy side liquidity if we get a nice inversion fair value gap set up around 4:30. That's when we typically like to turn around. So if we see any of that, might be inclined to take that. Because earlier we said not really interested in taking the short of this bearish fair value gap overlapping with the midnight, because we never really took out major buy side liquidity right here, and then it's just dangerous to take the short, especially with the London open not having shown its movement yet. Of course, there's a chance we continue lower from here, but we had the weave up right there, and we just cleared those two lows right there. Bum, bum, cleared, rejected, bounced off the weave up. Then we essentially waited for the confirmation. Of course, you can also buy the weave up rejection. I prefer my confirmation. Unfortunately, this time without the retest. Entry like that would have worked as well. Stop loss below the lower, just 5 points. Would have already hit a 1.5. And buy side liquidity would be our 2-to-1 risk reward. Not bad, actually. Damn. A little bit too careful this morning. So we closed above our opening range now. A nice inversion fair value gap entry. Yeah, true. And Q offered the inversion fair value gap entry. Paired with a volume imbalance and continued higher. Damn. That was at 320. Yeah, okay. And 320 on ES. Okay. And Q already pushed above that, retested it, and then continued higher. Yeah, me neither. I wasn't looking at NQ at that specific point in time. Also because, yeah, ES just respects fair value gap a hell lot better. Especially in these choppy environments, where it's not really clear when we're not within a trend. Well, we'll see. We have a new highest bullish fair value gap. Perfectly aligned with our opening range high. Like this. For 5 points. Let's take a look at the S&P 500 here. Our buy side liquidity. This is our new week opening gap again. Let's extend that over till the 2nd of May. 16 for tomorrow already. Our previous week's high. Oh man, epic short. Should have kept holding on to that. Oh, but it's alright. So, we opened up. We have our new day opening gap right here. That's all right. New day opening gap. Let's expand that over till 4 p.m. Good. We have our buy side liquidity right here. Our high of the day. Our inversion fair value gap. Did we also have volume? No, we didn't. I thought so. So let's see, that could be the last entry before we run into our buy side liquidity pool. I'm not really sure if I should. Let's see what the risk to reward would be like. I wonder where I would put my stop loss. Below here. Take profit target below here, up here. Maybe risk 125 on that. Pending. Oh shit, pending order. I should have used a market order at that point. Let me actually turn on my... Looks like I missed it. Damn. Not worth it anymore at this point. Only if we tap the fair value gap one more time, but... Otherwise I just missed it. Damn. Really thought it's gonna trigger if I... No. Essentially our opening range setup this time here. Bullish fair value gap, buy side liquidity above. We closed above it, our confirmation. Came back to retest the highest bullish fair value gap. Unless we do something like this first. Especially the closer and closer we get to the 30-30 time. I'm quickly going to the toilet. Take care. Until later during New York. Well, am I going to the toilet right now before I get filled? Yeah, be back in a second. Shit. No worries, take care. Until later. Come on, we will get filled. I don't like that we go sideways here so much, especially with 430 coming in. But we might just get the 430 continuation higher. Let's see, we have to get filled in anyway first. We're right on the opening range high right here. Didn't really go anywhere just yet. Katya, are you still there? Okay. Are you looking at anything specific right now? Or you said you're skipping London overall, right? Because of the mistake from yesterday. No, Matt doesn't like this limit order anymore. Seeing how we consolidate here now, just before 430. We have buy side above, but I prefer to... Yeah. I do the same with you. If anything, I should have taken this long, but didn't feel confident about it at all. And now seeing that we essentially had a nice rejection wick here, and 1, 2, 3, 4 candles inside of that. We confirmed movements to the upside, but I don't think if we are heading straight into buy side liquidity, I think we're more likely now to invert the highest bullish fair value gap, retest it on the 430 or 435 candle, take out at least a short-term low, retrace into the inversion fair value gap, and then work our way out of it again. Be my kind of prediction. We'll see. But we're going to paper trade the highest bullish fair value gap. Like said, up 6%, 6.2. Not having to risk anything anymore this week. Major trade for those profits essentially was this new week opening gap short right here. 50 seconds to go. Let's enter one here with our target being the SPY side. Check out the 1 minute time frame. Yeah, that's looking like a distribution at the high. Let's see if we get the inversion fair value gap confirmation. Because then I would take the short on my funding pips account of the inversion fair value gap. Retracement into internal range. But only if we get that right before 4:30. 3, 2, 1. Yep, we've got it. All right, Matt. Now you got to be quick. Risk at the high, so take profit target based on the 15. Immediately push back above it. Let's see how that plays out. 15-minute time frame. Yeah, actually not looking super bearish. But we'll see. If we immediately close back above it, I'm out. My stop loss is right here at the high. I entered around 50% here. Partial at this short-term low right here. And then look forward to hold it at least into this bullish fair value gap on the 15-minute. What do you think about that setup, Kati? $15-minute time frame fair value gap would be right here. This would be our order block here, essentially, where we stop hunted. I risk 150, so I'm just looking for that 1-to-1 here. Going to move my stop to break even once we take out this low. That's going to be my first area of interest right here. Be confident in the setup. I think it's pretty good. We have 30-30 confluence. We have a inversion fair value gap at the high of the day. We've consolidated or distributed at the high of the day. Damn, I don't have my charger. No music for me anymore. That's all right. Let's take a look at the S&P. Get rid of these stupid execution arrows. Bearish fair value gap, we've respected that, we continued lower. Now essentially what we have to make it through is this bullish fair value gap. Right here. If we're looking at 1 minute. Looks better for the short than this one. Why? So just from reading the PA here, we had our pump and dump. But we didn't really had enough time to distribute long positions. If we think about market makers, distributing longs, getting out of their longs, or switching over to shorts. Here we had plenty of time every time we pushed up higher. Shorts added, shorts added, shorts added, shorts added, shorts added, and now we might see that continuation lower into our range. Nice rejection wick. Could have been a nice down closing candle to form a pin bar, but let's see. So 1 minute. We're right on the 10 and 20 EMA, the one that RM is using for continuation setups. For the trend, usually works out like this. If we're in a trend, 10-20, 10-20, we continue higher. Yesterday, same thing. Trend, 10-20, 10-20, and we continue lower until we flip it essentially. 10-20, boom. We have our opening range. We closed above. We invalidated the highest bullish fair value gap. We're not looking for much. This is going to be my first partial point, moving my stop to break even. Then looking forward to see if we can maybe look for the 15-minute fair value gap to be filled in. Watching it on the 1 minute time frame as we now filled in our lowest bullish fair value gap here within this price lag. EQ overall is looking a little bit stronger. It's really taking too much time to really do the stop hunt. We're just retracing very slowly. I don't know, making me kind of skeptical about the short. And we're pushing again after filling in that lowest bullish fair value gap. Keep that in mind. 435. Like I said, close above the inversion fair value gap is going to be my exit. I'm going to do that later. I think I might end the stream here. Everyone already left, so gonna be back for the New York session stream, Xype Crypto. So take care and thanks for joining in today. Slow London session, but I think we had a good time tape reading. So bye.